President, why don't we motion to circle? Don't we do we still need to do the budget bills?
Yeah, we still need to do budget
So why don't we-
bills.
why don't we circle
I
this
was
and wait for the
thinking you
sub?
could place that fifth sub, but it's not available. Let's motion to circle. Motion to circle. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The bill is circled. Let's go back to the top of the second reading calendar. Again, we need to, even though it's a House day, we need to run these Senate bills. Senate Bill 1.
Senate Bill 1, Higher Education Base Budget, Senator Grover.
Senator Grover, back to you today for Senate Bill 1, okay?
Okay, thank you. Senators, this is the bill for higher education. It's just under $9 billion, and it keeps the doors open and the lights on, and we're working on the budget this session.
Thank you. Lights on, doors open. Do we have an amendment to the bill, or do we have a?
We do have an amendment,
So,
so I'd like to make that motion to amend.
Okay, motion to amend. Any explanation on the amendment?
No, that just Jonathan Ball said as amendment.
Okay, thank you. I'll call it a technical correction. It looks like it is. Intent language, at least. Discussion on the motion to amend. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Roll that motion passes. And again, that amendment was online. It dealt with the funding of 2 hospitals, the direction of that funding. So thank you. Now down to the bill. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, I'll take a motion. What we need is first a motion. In fact, why don't you make a motion on all 4 bills, Senate Bill 1, Senate Bill 4, Senate Bill 6, Senate Bill 7, to actually a motion to suspend the rules, the constitutional 3 reading requirement.
I'll do that, Mr. President. I'll make the motion to suspend the constitutional 3 reading requirement on SB 1, SB 4, SB 6, and SB 7.
We have a motion to suspend the constitutional reading, the 3 reading requirement is provided by the Constitution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, or that motion passes. Now to the bill. A motion to pass.
Okay, I will make a motion to pass Senate Bill 1 all the way across and to suspend the
Thank you.
3 read requirements.
Question is, shall Senate Bill 1 under suspension of the rules pass? Roll call vote.
Senators Baldery, Bluen, Bramble, Buxton, Cullimore, Escamilla, Fillmore, Grover, Harper, Hinkins, Ibsen, Johnson, Kennedy, Kwan, McKay, McKell, Milner, Owens, Pitcher, Plum, Reby, Sandal, Stevenson, Thatcher, Vickers, Weiler, Wilson, Winterton, President Adams.
Aye. Senate Bill 1, having received 28 yea votes, 0 nay votes, 1 being absent, passes this body and will be sent to the House for their consideration. Senate Bill 4.
Senate Bill 4, Business, Economic Development, and Labor-Based Budget, Senator McKell.
Senator McKell.
Thank you. I'd like to move amendment number 1 in my name.
Thank you. That motion's in order. Do you want to explain the amendment?
Yeah, we had some pass-through dollars that have been in that base budget. We just needed to include them back in.
Thank you. Do you have discussion of the motion to amend? Seeing none, I'm going to place the motion, and the amendment looks like Amendment 1 in Senator McKell's name. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Relevant motion passes. The bill is amended. Now to the bill, Senator.
Thank you. This is the Beetle budget, similar to Senator Grover. We want to keep the doors open, lights on, and this is the base budget. With that, I'm open for questions.
Thank you. Seeing no questions.
Okay, so I move under suspension of the rules that this bill pass under suspension of the 2nd and 3rd reading requirements.
Thank you. So the question is, under suspension of the rules, shall Senate Bill 4 pass? Roll call vote.
Senators Baldery, Bluen, Bramble, Buxton, Cullimore, Escamilla, Fillmore, Grover, Harper, Hinkins, Ibsen, Johnson, Kennedy, Kwan, McKay, McKell, Milner, Owens, Pitcher, Plum, Reby, Sandal, Stevenson, Thatcher, Vickers, Weiler, Wilson, Winterton, President Adams.
Aye. Senate Bill 4, having received 28 yea votes, 0 nay votes, 1 being absent, passes this body and will be sent to the House for their consideration. Senate Bill 6.
Senate Bill 6, Infrastructure and General Government Base Budget, Senator Wilson.
Senator Wilson, my guess
thank
is you have an amendment.
Yes, I'd like to move amendment number 2 under my name, please.
Thank you. That motion's in order. You want to speak to the amendment?
Yeah, we just added some intent language to San Juan County's hospital, authorizing University of Utah and also for $25 billion in ARPA funds. It's intent language for South Jordan to receive $1 million, a little over $1 million for the county of the First Class Highway Projects Fund to construct a new track station in Daybreak. Strikes a line reducing the ISF Enterprise Technology Division. That was basically just to correct an error. And then it adds 1.1 billion back into the budget to the Department of Transportation for prioritized projects.
Thank you. Discussion of the motion to amend? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Rule that motion passes. Discussion, presentation on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is just the normal IGG budget bill that we do every year. And because of time, I'll leave it there. And a motion, Mr. President, under
Well,
suspension.
let's wait to see if there's discussion.
Oh, sorry.
Any discussion? Senator Vickers has a comment.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a procedural question. Did we pass amendment number 1?
No, we passed amendment number 2, Mr.
Okay.
President.
So we did not do number 1, correct?
No.
Thank you.
So let me call it again to make sure we got the right amendment. But all those in favor of Amendment 2 and Senator Wilson's name say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Rule that motion passes. Make sure that that amendment's passed in front of us. Now, seeing no further discussion on the bill, I'm going to go to Senator Reby. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I know that the infrastructure bill has some transportation funding in there. Right now, we are in the middle of a couple of lawsuits with the gondola, and I just want to express some concerns about any money going to that project that's in litigation. So is there money dedicated for that in this bill?
Senator Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. President. To my knowledge, no, there is no money set aside for the gondola in this budget.
I believe
Thank
that's, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion of the bills? Seeing none, Senator Wilson, any summation, comments, or a motion?
Waive summation, Mr. President. Move that under suspension of the rules, that SB 6 pass as amended.
Thank you. And the question is, under suspension of the rules, shall Senate Bill 6 pass? Roll call vote.
Senators Baldery, Bluen, Bramble, Buxton, Cullimore, Escamilla, Fillmore, Grover, Harper, Hinkins, Ibsen, Johnson, Kennedy, Kwan, McKay, McKell, Milner, Owens, Pitcher, Plum, Reby, Sandal, Stevenson, Thatcher, Vickers, Weiler, Wilson, Winterton, President Adams.
Aye. Senate Bill 6, having received 28 yea votes, 0 nay votes, 1 being absent, passes this body and will be sent to the House for their consideration. Senate Bill 7.
Senate Bill 7, National Guard, Veterans Affairs, and Legislature Base Budget, Senator Stevenson.
Senator Stevenson.
Thank you. As many of you know, these three organizations that we mentioned in this in this bill have no appropriations committee other than they do go directly before EAC. And so their base budgets we've looked at, and there seems to be no problems with where we're headed. We did meet with them last night, however. They have presented a budget for the upcoming year, but this is the base, and we would propose that this base budget be moved forward.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Seeing none, back to you, Senator Stevenson, for a motion.
Thank you. I would move that under suspension of the rules, that SB 7 pass.
Thank you. And the question is, under suspension of the rules, shall Senate Bill 7 pass? Roll call vote.
Senators Baldery, Bluen, Bramble, Buxton, Cullimore, Escamilla, Fillmore, Grover, Harper, Hinkins, Ipson, Johnson, Kennedy, Kwan, McKay, McKell, Milner, Owens, Pitcher, Plum, Reby, Sandal, Stevenson,
Aye.
Thatcher, Vickers, Weiler, Wilson, Winterton, President Adams.
Aye. Senate Bill 7, having received 28 yea votes, 0 nay votes, 1 being absent, passes this body and will be sent to the House for their consideration. Senator McKay's asked to be able to uncircle House Bill 257 and place a 5th substitute. We'll see what there's objections. So, 2nd substitute, sorry. So Senator McKay, I'm going to recognize you. We'll see if this motion passes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Motion to uncircle House Bill 257.
Motion to uncircle House Bill 257. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll roll that motion passes. The bill is before us.
Okay. Motion to substitute.
Motion that motion's in order. Do you want to explain the substitute?
Yes. So we're adopting the 2nd substitute, which is online, of House Bill 257. I'm happy to explain the differences. We've broken out several important policy changes as House Bill 257. It's one of the reasons, we love the legislative process. And I can explain that a little bit more as I do the bill presentation here in a minute.
Thank you. So do we see, I don't see any comments or questions on the motion to substitute. I'm going to place it. All in favor? It's to delete in title and body House Bill 257 and replace it with 2nd substitute House Bill 257. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Roll that motion passes. The bill is substitute. So go ahead, Senator McKay.
Thanks, President. Worked with a lot of our colleagues, and we know it's a late hour, and so for procedural purposes on House bills, we have to move them on Tuesday or on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And so we've worked out the following policy changes from what came over from the House. The overall update is House Bill 257 now applies to privacy spaces in government-owned and government-operated facilities. The privacy space is defined as a bathroom or a changing room in a government-owned and operated facility. It still includes exceptions for medical emergencies and law enforcement maintenance work, assisting children, elderly, and people with disabilities. But it does not include if a grant is granted, if there's federal funds or a business that's located in a building receives federal or state funds, that does not create a significant nexus for them to be regulated under this policy. The legislation also protects federal funding and facilitates facilities that receive public funding, including shelters, organizations, or groups that receive grants will be protected. The bill still requires state and local government entities to improve privacy by providing adequate single occupancy facilities in new buildings and studying the feasibility of retrofitting existing facilities. The bill applies different standards to changing rooms and bathrooms, separates those two policies. The objective remains the same, that we want to ensure that everyone feels comfortable in privacy areas in Utah. This is an important step to ensure that all Utahns have privacy in sensitive areas. For bathrooms, the bill focuses on the actions of those who commit lewd and offensive behavior in privacy space. It's no longer related to gender or identity. Furthermore, the bill strengthens criminal charges for those who commit offensive behavior in a bathroom. This bill does not define who can and cannot enter a public bathroom or a public sex designated bathroom, and should not and does not impact federal funding. The second element is, the second part of this is that changing rooms are broken out, locker rooms, changing rooms, and defined in the bill. The bill does improve privacy and peace of mind for everyone in public changing rooms and bathrooms. It clarifies government entities may draw distinctions on the basis of sex that are related to important government objectives, including individual privacy and competitive opportunity. We're also requiring future government buildings to provide for more options for privacy in changing room. We improve privacy by ensuring individuals use changing room facilities in government buildings that correspond to their sex. We incorporate other important aspects of Title IX into state law, requiring equal access to facilities and athletic opportunities for women and for other protected classes. This bill does strengthen criminal charges for those who commit offensive behavior in a privacy space for government entities not reporting violations. There are different penalties for government entities and up to a $10,000 fine, and individuals can receive an enhanced penalty for if they're engaged in any of the following: lewdness or lewdness involving a child, voyeurism, criminal trespass, or loitering in a public space. I think that's a decent enough rundown and quick enough rundown on the bill today, President, for us to move it over to third and recognize that we still have another day and we'll still be receiving feedback on the bill.
Thank you. And the process is we can actually move this bill to third today, or we can actually hear it tomorrow and move it to, then it'll be heard on Friday. So either one works, but open it up for discussion. Appreciate the presentation. So I'm open to any or all options. Senator Escamilla.
Thank you, Mr. President. The sponsor came to our members of our caucus, and this is obviously new language. So we don't want to do a discussion right now, full-blown discussion. We want to go over the bill, so it's fair that we're addressing the new substituted version. So I mean, we're okay. We're probably going to see no votes on second because we haven't seen the language, but we are eager to read it and see all the great things that I guess the good sponsor expressed, and then be able to debate that tomorrow, but we couldn't be able to do it today.
Thank you. And so without objection, I'll go ahead and proceed, and we'll go ahead and potentially take a motion to read it a third time. Senator Plum.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to stand and first of all, have you all be grateful that you don't have to hear a pediatrician talk about bathrooming today and toileting and all of those things, because I was kind of going into that mom pediatrician mode. And I also really want to express my gratitude to the sponsor for hearing some of the concerns and focusing on that privacy and feelings of safety for all children. So with that said, I look forward to reading this and to talking more.
I think it's really good to put this second sub in place so you can read it. So discussions, if I don't see any, Senator, I'm going to go back to Senator McKay for summation and a motion. Oh, Senator Thatcher. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, I've never been afraid to stand up and be the only Republican saying no. And I've been prepared to do this, and I've been loading for bear to fight this battle. And I want to express my incredible gratitude for this big change, removing the sex designations related to restrooms and focusing on the behavior is a huge change. And that, I hope, is enough to bring support from the community and to send the message that we are trying to solve a problem and not target anyone specifically. And Mr. President, I wouldn't have thought it possible. I'm changing my vote, and I will be supporting this bill today.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, Senator McKay,
Thank you. I'll waive summation and move that second substitute House Bill 257, sex-based designations for privacy, anti-bullying, and women's opportunities be read for a third time.
Thank you. And the question is, shall second substitute House Bill 257 be read a third time? Roll call vote.
Senators Baldery, Bluen, Bramble, Buxton, Cullimore, Escamilla, Fillmore, Grover, Harper, Hinkins, Ipson, Johnson, Kennedy, Kwan, McKay, McKell,
Senator Harper, I'm going to recognize you. Go ahead.
I appreciate what appears to be some monumental improvements in this bill. I have not had time to digest it, but I think it's in a much better shape, so I'm going to be aye on 2.
Thank you.
McKell, Milner, Owens, Pitcher, Plum, Reby, Sandel, Stevenson, Thatcher, Vickers, Weiler,
Senator Weiler.
Thank you. I had an emergency hearing in court this morning. I haven't had a chance to review this. It looks like it's a vast improvement. I want to give my gratitude to the sponsor and also to Senate leadership for listening to, I think, some valid concerns. But I think it would be irresponsible for me to vote yes on something that I don't understand yet. So I'm going to vote no on 2, and with the hope that I can vote yes on 3. Thank you.
Wilson, Winterton, President Adams.
Aye. Second substitute House Bill 257, having received 20 yea votes, 7 nay votes, 2 being absent, shall be read a third time. Senator Buxton.
We will be having a Rules Committee report immediately after we adjourn.
Thank you, Rules Committee. After we adjourn, Senator Vickers, announcements and a final motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do have a luncheon down in the Rotunda, sponsored by the recycling groups. And a couple of things after this riveting discussion, you might be interested to know that today is National Peanut Butter Day.
We probably need some of that after this.
I'm a Jiffy fan, by the way. But in 1993, American lawyer Thurgood Marshall, who was the first African-American to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court, died at the age of 84. In 1984, you may remember this, the revolutionary computer Macintosh was introduced by Steve Jobs.
Wow.
And with that, Mr. President, I would make a motion that the Senate adjourn until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Motion to adjourn until 11 a.m. tomorrow. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Roll. That motion passes. The Senate is adjourned.